and work of Martin Luther King Jr. And at this time, we ask everyone to rise for a moment of silence, in part to honor the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. and to reflect on how we can lead by his example. And then we will continue with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, there's a Town of Munster proclamation. Whereas the monarch butterfly is an iconic North American species whose multi-generational migration and metamorphosis from caterpillar to butterfly has captured the imagination of million Americans, young and old. And whereas the monarch is also extremely beneficial, pollinating many cultivated flowers and crops, and serves as an indicator species for the ecological health of a large geographical area. And whereas scientists estimate the monarch population to have declined about 80% over the past 20 years. And whereas cities and communities have a critical role to play in helping to save the monarch butterfly. And the Town of Munster has an interest in becoming Indiana's second monarch city as designated by Monarch City USA, a non-profit organization dedicated to helping the monarch butterfly recover city by city. And whereas the Town of Munster has established or is in the process of establishing habitat areas at Beaker Woods, Centennial Park, 45th and Columbia, including a designated Monarch Way station at the Munster Historical or History Museum in Beaker Woods. And whereas the Munster Civic Foundation is working with groups and organizations throughout Munster to create a fun, interactive, year-long series of events and information to create a better understanding of the important role of native and sustainable habitats, including a spring cleanup and a fall special event at Heritage Park. Whereas every citizen of Munster can make a difference for the monarch by planting native milkweed and nectar plants to provide habitats for the monarch and pollinators in the locations where people live, work, learn, play, and worship. Do I hear a motion to accept this proclamation? So moved. Second. Motion is second. All in favor say aye. 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 Now therefore the Town Council of Munster does hereby proclaim that the Town of Munster does hereby proclaim that the Munster is committed to supporting the monarch butterfly species in our community and beyond, dated the 16th day of January 2023. Okay.
Okay.
This is a sign that will be. Oh, I guess I can't take it out. Yeah, there it is. So here's a sign that will be placed up throughout the town. Okay, good. There are a number of people here that have worked on this project, and we like to thank everybody that is here that has taken a role in working with us to get to this point, and also is working to establish a year-long series of activities. So thank you very much.
Why don't we ask them to stand up?
If you are involved in the Monarch City designation, if you could please stand so you can be recognized. Also, yeah, also, I think there are some seats on the side wall that you are more than welcome or invited to take home with you. Diane, is there anything special about the seeds that they should know?
Plant them now.
Plant them now.
Plant them now in the winter time. Yes. It would have 185 members already.
Very good. Thank you very much. Great. Okay, moving on, we'll go to the public comment section of the meeting. We kindly ask that all in-person public comment is limited to 2-minute maximum per person or 5-minute for a group spokesman. Please keep your comments civil and constructive and related to public policy issues. In the event that questions are posed to the council, we will note your questions in the meeting minutes and will refer to questions to the appropriate department or staff for follow-up and response. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to the council? Seeing none, is there anyone online? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public comment section and move on to the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I move we accept the consent agenda.
Second. There is a motion, a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Schoen.
Yes.
Counselor Mellon. Counselor Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Counselor Kulturitis.
Yes.
And Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
4-0.
There is no old business. We'll move into new business. There is resolution 2103, which is the authorized signer of INDOT business. Tom Anderson, anything to add to this?
Nope. That's something you'll see every year, so we can continue to do work.
Very good. Meeting here, is there is a recommendation from the,
We're working on it.
I move we approve resolution authorizing town manager to execute contracts and documents for the Indiana Department of Transportation.
I second. There's a motion, a second, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Schoen.
Yes.
Counselor Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Counselor Kulturitis.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes. Next on the agenda is the 2022 Community Matching Crossing Grant, INDOT LPA contract approval. Deputy Town Manager Pete Tomaso, anything to add to the memo?
Nope.
There is a recommendation in front of the council.
Mr. President, I would move to authorize town manager to execute contract number 069638 with the Indiana Department of Transportation in the amount of $625,347.52 to reconstruct 0.553, to be precise, miles of streets.
Second,
There's a motion, a second, any discussion?
I have a quick question. Do we already have the streets we're gonna be utilizing this money for already?
Yes,
Yes. Which one?
They're
they're,
in the memo. That's Beverly Place from State Line to Holman, Camellia from Franlin to Hawthorne, and White Oak from Fairway to River Drive.
we're currently building out our list for the next round of community crossing money. And we are in process of working on the RFP to make sure that we have 45th from the state line to the project limits of Calumet and 45th also paved this year as well.
Did that answer your question? Yeah. Okay, very good. Other discussion, questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Schoen.
Yes.
Counselor Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Counselor Kulturitis.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes. Moving along to item C, Public Works RFQ for leaf and wood chip cartage and disposal. Is Director of Public Works Gunty on the line, or is there anything that Tom Manager would like to add to the memo?
No and no. This is an annual item that we ask you to consider to take care of the organics that we pick up year round.
Very good. There's a motion at the end of the memo.
Mr. President, I would move to approve the proposal from P&C Trucking for the pickup, transportation, and disposal of leaves and wood chips until December 31st, 2023, as needed to Dunlin 28 in Valparaiso at $385 per foot.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Schoen.
Yes.
Counselor Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Counselor Kulturitis.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes. Moving along to letter D, the procurement of flow meters and hypochlorinate dosing equipment. Deputy Town Manager, anything to add to this?
Nope.
Very good. There is a motion. This is part of the water, water meters and water for the town.
I move that we approve the purchase of the flow meters and the hypochlorite dosing system for the quoted price of $89,871.
Second.
Motion, a second. Any discussion?
This is one of at least two things we'll see on the agenda today that's part of the town's work to enhance the water infrastructure and system. So good. I know we voted on the policy before. It's good to see the money being spent and things being taken into action.
Very good. Roll call, please.
Counselor Schoen.
Yes.
Counselor Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Counselor Kulturitis.
Yes.
And Counselor Gardner.
Yes. Then we move along to item E, which is the full service water tank rehabilitation and maintenance program. Again, pretty lengthy memo in the packet. Anything to add?
It's exciting stuff. This is good
Nothing
stuff.
to add unless you want me to clarify anything.
I don't have anything before we have to make a motion.
We can make a motion. And so, Mr. President, I move to authorize town manager to sign the master services agreement and 7 statement of work contracts with Veolia for full service water tank rehabilitation maintenance program.
Very good. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Very good. Any discussion?
I do wonder, since this is a large project, one that we've been waiting for since the cost of services study, and we have maybe online and in the room today. Are either of you able to give like a really high level overview?
Of course. Yeah, so we have 7 water tanks in our system. 4 of them are ground storage tanks, 2 located prominently on Calumet Avenue. There are also 3 elevated storage tanks. All of them require some TLC in terms of painting. And I say painting, but it's not really paint. It's a specialized coating system that goes on these tanks to protect the steel from corrosion, which, you know, as we all know, water and steel don't mix. So it's the town's responsibility to protect these assets. They're very expensive. It's much easier to rehab them than it is to rebuild them. So we went out, we put out an RFP to get proposals from companies that do this all over the country for lots of different municipalities. We received 2 proposals. We had a team of staff members from the clerk treasurer's office, from Public Works, myself, and from water billing. We all reviewed those. And after going back and forth, requesting a little bit more information from one of the proposers, we came to the recommendation to award the contracts to this company, Utility Services Company, which is also known as Veolia. And then in the memo, it details they being the experts put together the scope of work for doing this work. They evaluated the tanks, they decided which ones should be done first and what needed to be done, because none of us are really qualified to make those assessments. So you can see in the table that the first tanks that will be painted this year, starting with the Calumet ground storage tanks. Those are the blue boxes. So anything with a blue box is the complete overhaul of the tank. The asterisks tell you what kind of rehab they're going to see. So a single asterisk is an overcoat of the painting system, meaning that the paint is in decent enough shape that it can hold, and they can put another coat of the coating system over top of what's already there. The double stars are going to be completely sandblasted. It'll be like the big tank on Indianapolis Boulevard that Highland did last year. They'll have a big curtain around it to contain the dust. And it'll go down to bare metal. Every tank will be completely renovated on the interior and go down to bare metal and be coated. The orangish boxes are where we would do a washout inspection. The white boxes are just a visual inspection. So the orange is a little bit more in depth. You can see that they cost a little bit more. And that's basically it. We want to use, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tricia, we're going to use, if we can use revenue bonds for the blue boxes for all the big ticket items, because they are a capital improvement. And then the other funds will come from just water revenue, water rate
Will
revenue.
any of this work be done
in July and August.
No, we can't afford to take a tank out of service during the
That was my
hot
concern.
summer months. So the plan would be to do east and west this spring. We need, because Ridge Road is an elevated tank, we have, there's telecommunication equipment on that tank. And as the landlord and the way our lease is written, we need to give those companies at least 6 months notice that they need to get their stuff off our tank so that we can do the maintenance on it. So the plan is Calumet in the spring and Ridge Road in the fall.
Thank you for the recap, and this has been a long time coming to do some of this rehab work. It's gonna be a big project, but looking forward to get it completed over the next 5 years. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Schoen.
Yes.
Counselor Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Counselor Kulturitis.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes. Moving along to the CSX Transportation, the Quiet Zone Inspection Fee. Town Manager Dustin Anderson, do you have anything to add to the memo?
No, it must be good to work for a company that you get paid $6,000 just to leave your desk, though. So that's just the way it is, and we appreciate CSX being willing to come inspect the crossing, and we will be that much closer to having a quiet zone established at Calumet, directly adjacent from Maple Leaf Crossing and the neighbors to the east. And this is desirable not only because there's a significant residential area to the east, but also there's a hotel and a number of office businesses that are going to locate. The buildings are being constructed and are winding down. So this is going to be a high quality of life improvement for that corner of town.
Very good, thank you. Go ahead.
Mr. President, I move to approve the payment of $6,000 to CSX for services associated with the town's quiet zone.
Second. There's motion second, any discussion?
That's a quick question. This is the last crossing, isn't it? For quiet zone, we don't have any other ones that,
I think you're right.
right?
Yes.
There will be 2 associated with the NICD project. But they,
We'll have to go through the same.
they are doing the work for us. Hammond is the lead agency and we've already started that process. So as soon as those crossings go in, they should be quiet zones. They should, yeah.
That's what I thought, this was our final quiet zone. So,
Yeah.
that's good to hear too.
So that also means when the South Shore trains go in, they won't be honking the horn
Right.
as they cross the tracks. And this amount will be reimbursed by the developer, but we need to pay it to get the work done.
Mhm.
Very good. Seeing no more discussion, roll call, please.
Counselor Schoen.
Yes.
Counselor Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Counselor Kulturitis.
Yes.
And Counselor Gardner.
Yes. Next on item on the agenda is the portfolio assignments for the council. The only thing that's a minor change from previous years is that the Lake County Solid Waste Management Board has asked for us to have an alternate to their board. So if they're running short on a quorum, we can have our full 2 members attend. So the other day, Leanne Mellon did offer to volunteer to be the alternate to that group. So
What a volunteer here tonight too.
that's why I was thinking that I had to make sure I said it the other night that she volunteered, and that's not because she's not here, she gets volunteered for, so.
There's a meeting Thursday and I feel kind of ill.
Okay, so that's there is no motion or anything we need for that. That's just more of an assignments. Final item on the agenda, letter H, is the appointment to the park board. We all know, or we're all aware, by this time, Dave served, a longtime member of the park board for approximately 30 years, retired from that board, and there is an opening on the park board. The nominating committee did meet prior to the holidays, recommended 3 people to the council. This past week, Councilor Schoen and myself interviewed the 3 applicants. And at this time, we'll make a motion to appoint one of those 3 applicants. Ken, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, except that all 3 of them were superior people. good to have that kind of volunteerism in this town.
Very good. Is there a motion or recommendation?
I move we appoint, and I can't think of his name right now. Yes, Scott Pierce, Scott with one T.
I'll second it.
To the park board.
Okay, there's a motion, a second. Any discussion? And I would also say what Ken mentioned, the three people that were interviewed were very good people, and it is nice to see, I remarked after Ken, that it's nice to see people wanting to get involved in the activities of the town, so. Seeing no other discussion, roll call, please.
Counselor Schoen.
Yes.
Counselor Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Counselor Kulturitis.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes. Very good. That concludes the new business. Are there any reports? Any portfolio reports? Announcements. We'll return to our first and third meetings of the month on Monday, February 6th, and then February 20th. In the month of February for the regular town council and redevelopment commission meetings. Seeing no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second. There's a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion or meetings adjourned, and we'll move quickly into our Munster Redevelopment Commission meeting. See our liaison with the school town of Munster, John Castro, coming forward.
I am.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, and it's Visitor's Day, sorry. It's been a while.
I will call the Munster Redevelopment Commission meeting on January 16th to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Schoen.
Present.
Commissioner Mellon. Commissioner Tulowitzki.
Present.
Commissioner Kulturitis.
Present.
And Commissioner Gardner.
Present. Is there anyone here in the public that would like to speak to the Redevelopment Commission?
Can I please add that our liaison to the school board, John Castro, is also here in meeting attendance. I probably just doubled the length of this meeting by making that announcement.
We'll make sure that John's named in the minutes. That's good.
And John will be our liaison for the next 2 years.
I was just gonna say, you're stuck with me for another 2 years, so I'm sorry. about
3 years, the
that.
length of your term?
2 is the length of my term.
Okay.
A little quick on that clarification.
Okay, consent agenda.
I move we accept the consent agenda.
Second. There's a motion, a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Schoen.
Yes.
Commissioner Tulowitzki.
Yes.
Commissioner Kulturitis.
Yes.
Commissioner Gardner.
Yes. There is no old business, no new business, no reports. Any announcements to make? Seeing no announcements, entertain a motion for adjournment of the redevelopment commission meeting. So moved.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. And please remember your milkweed seeds before you leave today's meeting.